Hello. Hi. Good evening or good morning, whatever time you're watching this, but happy solar new moon. Happy solar new moon. Yay. I want to begin by saying thank you so much for being here this evening. Out of all the places that you could be, you are here tonight, and I want to say thank you and honor that. I really want to make this special for us this evening. Just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Florencia, go by Flo. I am a self-empowerment coach, and I lead ceremonies, right, of all kinds. I love rituals. I make a ritual out of anything, and I love astrology. One of my big tools that I use is astrology as well as breath work. And when we look into astrology, my North Node, which is like your soul's purpose, is in my sixth house, the sixth house of service and ritual, your like daily habits. So, me doing this is very much in my soul purpose, and it just brings me so much joy to be able to share this and create this beautiful experience for all of us together. These moments are really special because they're filled with intention, right? We cultivate the moment to make it whatever we want it to be, right, in that moment. And we choose our special tools that create our ritual and make it that much special, but we really don't need anything else, right, but ourselves, and just connecting with all of this beautiful energy, right? So what is an eclipse? And we had a solar eclipse today, right? Solar eclipses happen during new moons. And as we know, the new moon is actually not visible at all in the sky. It's when the moon goes dark. And I like to think of it as also as that time where we're going within, right? We're looking within. So it represents the new beginning, right? It's the beginning of the lunar cycle. And so it's a great time to plant seeds, right? Plant seeds of intention, that things that you're going to be cultivating and working on for the next few months, for the next cycle, right? But eclipse energy is a little bit different, right? The eclipse is like something that comes to super speed our soul contracts, right? We all came here, our souls came here for a reason, and we have different contracts with different people, different lessons, different journeys that our soul is here to experience, right? And so the eclipse really helps us align with those experiences and be where we are. So you might find things that are just really coming up in very drastic or intense ways right now, right? There's a lot happening in the world, and we can feel that internally and personally, and we feel that collectively, right? That's like full-blown eclipse season here in its finest. And when we look back to, uh, the Mayans and the Incans, who honored, right, the soul gods and the moon gods, and their legends about the eclipse, right? It's like the sun god was angry and was eating, right? The sun was being eaten because people had been evil, had been bad, because the evil had risen. So uh it's interesting how, right, things have evolved, because can you imagine being like way back then in whatever 1700s and seeing an eclipse, like the sun being covered? What That's so wild, right? um you would think that the world is coming to an end in many ways, but in it's an opportunity, right? It's like we're shutting out the external, all of that light, and we're going really within. So instead of trying to force anything to happen right now, making things happen, it's really a time to surrender and trust, right? Trust that the universe is always working for us. It's conspiring to make our dreams come true. And our dreams maybe not our conscious dreams, right? Because maybe our conscious dreams are too small. The universe wants to give us something so much greater than that small-minded thing, human thought that we're having, right? So it's really surrendering to that trust. All of this is happening in Libra. Okay, and we've got the we're in Libra season, and Libra is all about balance, all about relationships. It rules relationships and partnerships of all types, romantic, business, right? Friendships, all types of partnerships are going to be really highlighted right now. So if there's something happening in one of your relationships, really get curious, right? What is this bringing up? And maybe is the same thing coming up in all of my relationships, right? Because what's being mirrored back to me? What's that underlining theme that's going to give me the clue of, okay, this is what I'm working on, this is where I'm going next, this is the thing, the need that I have to fulfill here, this is like the threshold that I have to surpass of where I've been holding my self-worth, right? It's like, okay, I have to set a boundary here, I have to hold myself to a higher level, and that's with ourselves, not for anybody else, right? That we're doing that. And Libra really asks the question of, who am I in a relationship, right? How much am I willing to negotiate to make the other person happy in a relationship, right? Libra wants to keep the peace and harmony at all costs, but at what costs is the question, right? The idea is not to lose yourself, right? But really be so full and whole and beautiful in yourself, and finding that compatible, that person, that other equal that's going to not complete you because you're two whole beings, but really that's going to complement you, right? And that's what you want your relationships to do, is complement you. Your professional relationships, because you want to work off of each other's strengths, right? But you want that in your personal relationships also. You want to be surrounded by people who help you be the best you, right? Who keep you growing constantly. And that involves you being in introspection with yourself, right? The idea of balance it's very elusive. When we talk about balance, it's like, well, what does balance really mean? And balance is something that means something different to everyone, right? And I think the idea of things being absolutely equal, and that meaning balance, is so far from the reality of what balance can actually look like, right? Because the scales could maybe mean that this is balance and this is sometimes balance, and they're going to constantly be changing. It's an ebb and a flow of balance. Which is what right? That's what life is, those flows. So really getting into those, getting clear and centered in ourselves, in what our values are, what our beliefs are, what are our needs and our non-negotiables, right? And showing up from that space, and then really being present and really being fully able to give. And this idea of giving and receiving, right, is a big theme that's happening under this eclipse as well. The idea of that the balance and the give and take. And I was thinking, I taught an astrology basics course on Thursday evening, and it was so much fun, and setting everything up and like just putting, all of the astrology knowledge together, and like also distilling it down to basics. And I was just looking at the pairs of astrology, right? And when I'm teaching about like the two sides of each coin, right? There's 12 signs in the zodiac, and there's 6 sets, right, that complement each other, that are opposites, and yet they're the same. And it's that duality that we have, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, that are present in both. It's the light and the dark that's present in ourselves. So it's acknowledging all of that, right? And integrating it and being at peace within, with our darkness and our light, right? Not being afraid to shine, and also not being afraid to be in the depths of the darkness, of the unknown, of our own unknown, or of the things that we're not super proud of, because that's, we all have those things. That's also part, right, of the human experience. I got so ahead of myself and just dove in. I didn't do our circle thing, so we're going to do that now. Just get so excited. I really do. I made a little cacao drink earlier, and I'm drinking it in my beautiful ceremonial cup. How gorgeous is this? I'm a big fan of cacao, as some of you already know. And it's great tool, a great way that I connect, and that I center, and that I open my heart, right? It's something to open the heart. It's so beautiful. There's a Mayan legend that says that the spirit of cacao comes to us when there's an imbalance in the earth, right? When there's imbalance between the earth and us humans. And so where is that imbalance between you right now? Where are you feeling that happening? We always, like I was saying, there's that elusive, there's always an imbalance somewhere, right? It's never like the equal scales. Where is that imbalance? Where are you finding some discomfort, right? Some unease? And let's lean into that. What's underneath that? Can you fulfill that need? Can you really give to yourself what it is that that you're seeking, that you're wanting, that you're desiring, right? Can you not be afraid of that thing that is calling to you? Because if it's calling to you, it's for a reason, right? It's something there. It's something there. Let's tune into that. And I wanted to do my sound healing for you guys, but I cannot figure out. Wait, rewind, delete. I am in the process of discovering still, and learning. I am definitely learning how to do all of the computer and sound stuff and whatnot. See my mic? Really cool here. Yeah, but when it's still, for, I don't know why, the mic does not pick up the sound. It only picks up my voice. So no sound this evening, because last time I did sound, and it was crazy because y'all didn't hear the sound and I thought you were hearing the sound. But anyway, I digress. No sound this evening, but that's okay, right? We can definitely still do this without it. Let's take a deep breath. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose, out through the mouth. Yes. Now grab your hands and start to shake them. Shake out the hands, kind of like, you're drying, you're at a public bathroom and there's no paper towel, so you're drying out your hands. Let's really let them shake. Let them shake. And you can move it to your arms and let your arms shake. Let your shoulders shake. Yeah, let your whole body shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Yes. And now, as you're still shaking, you're going to inhale through the nose. And I want you to, okay? And start to slow it down. Slow it down, slow it down. Relaxing the hands on your lap. You can close down the eyes and really begin to focus on the breath. And I want you to just notice the breath here. Just begin to notice the breath. As you're inhaling and exhaling, maybe you begin to think of a few words to describe your breath. In the belly, in the chest, choppy. And we're just observing the breath. We're not judging it, just observing it. Taking a note of what our breath feels like at this time. Maybe we're noticing that this is the first time we're slowing down to really breathe today. And if so, that's okay. We welcome the breath with this beautiful, loving, warm energy. Like, hi, it's so nice to see you again. Yes. Breath filling our bodies. So delicious, right? So yummy. Centering into this moment, filling ourselves with the breath. And I want you to begin to give your breath a color. And whatever color comes to mind first, that's the color. Giving your breath this color. And now imagining this color dispersing throughout your entire body. And especially sending the breath to any areas that feel a little sore, stiff, stuck. Really focusing all that color, all that breath in that area. And it's brightening and brightening and brightening. Eventually, you are this luminous, glowing ball of light, radiating light in every direction. You, this luminous being, radiating light. Can you feel that? Deep breath in through the nose, down into the belly, expand the belly, fill it like a balloon. Draw the breath up through the torso and out. Exhale through the nose. Another deep breath in through the nose, down into the belly, expanding the belly, so much so that it fills like a balloon. And exhale. One more deep, nice, long breath. Expanding the belly like a balloon. And drawing the breath up through the torso, opening up the heart space. And exhale. And allowing your breath to return to a natural rhythm, keeping it deep and gentle. Bringing your focus to the center of your heart chakra, the center of your chest. Bringing this radiating light back to the center of our beings. And from the center, radiating down into our womb space, filling the womb space with light, down into our knees, down to our feet. And from our feet, this light radiating down like roots into the earth. You're connected through these luminous roots to the earth that go down into the core of the earth. And from the core of the earth, they radiate back into us, charging us with this beautiful grounding energy, protective energy that is within us at all times. This is accessible to us at all times. All we have to do is this: close our eyes, take a deep breath, and go within. And here we find our truth. We found our power, our connection to source, to earth, to being. This is it right here. You have it all within you, now and always. Allow it to radiate throughout your entire body. Feel it. Can you feel yourself begin to vibrate? Vibrate with this light, with this radiance. What we're doing is we're turning our light all the way up right now, increasing the glow, increasing our reach of love, extending our vibration, extending our aura, so that we may take up more space, so that we may be seen fully in all of our light, so that we may shine bright as the sun, like we came here to shine. Can you feel that? That warmth that fills, the joy that radiates from you being you? Now I invite you to wrap your arms around you. Give yourself a nice big hug. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Just give yourself that love. Feel it. I'm giving you right now a big, big, big hug. We really need this right now. We always do. Loving ourselves. Saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Slowly, we will come back. Thank you. This love right here that we give to ourselves, so important. It's so important. This connection that we have with ourselves, the connection that we have with each other. And we honor that and we say thank you. Taking a nice deep breath, you can relax the arms again. And now, filled with all the luminosity and filled with our radiance, filled with our light, we say thank you. Deep breath in and out. And slowly rolling out the wrists, your ankles, maybe your neck, as we come back to this present moment. Mm. Hello. That was yummy, right? How did that feel? Mm. Hi.
Hi. Hi. I was just gonna say it always feels nice when you give yourself a hug. Like you just forget that it's always there. It's always available to you, you
Yes.
know. So I always love that practice.
It's true. It's like you said, we don't take advantage enough of being able to give ourselves hug or a hug. Like we take it for granted. It's underrated.
Very, very much so.
Have you all seen the meme or the whatever going around that's like how many hugs we need a day? That it's like there they did a study and we need I don't remember how many it is, but you need like 20 hugs a day for well-being. And like, are you really getting 20 hugs a day?
Right.
Probably
Oh,
not.
I did see that. Because I remember reading it being like, oh, I don't get that many.
Like we don't, and we can be giving and getting more hugs. And that's a theme, right? Like, okay, maybe that's what we want to do, is like give ourselves more hugs. And it'll be a fun experiment. Do you have a feather?
I do,
I love
yes.
it. Yes. um it's like the more that we open ourselves up, right, for this, the more giving is a very big theme here, right? The give and the take, and it's giving and receiving. And most of us are, it's so easy to be givers, and we're like, yes, yes, we can give, we give. So I'm a giver. I'm a giver. I'm such a great giver. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, but a really good giver is also a good receiver.
Receiver. Yep. Hmm.
And that's more difficult to do, right? Because
Yeah.
receiving is being vulnerable, being open in that way. It's like, oof, I'm open to receive, but it might not be, I might receive not what I want to receive. I might receive something
Mhm.
else. And you're out in like uncharted territory there. So um it's really, see, when we are already giving ourselves all that we need to, all that we desire, and we're not looking outside of ourselves for our needs to be fulfilled, then um we're fulfilling ourselves. So it's not, we're not looking for others, right? It's not going to be such a big deal what the other person says or does, because we're already here. So then we can really fully show up in the relationship being like, okay, whatever you do, whatever you say, however you show up, and whatever you give me, is good. Cause like, that's not the only thing. That's, my cup is already full, right? I'm not looking for you, for the other to be filling my needs. Like it's most likely not gonna happen, right? Because just to begin with, we don't usually communicate clearly what our needs are, right? We're like dancing around whatever it is that we want, mainly because we ourselves aren't aware of what that need is yet. Right. So this is an invitation of becoming curious of what unmet needs you have, right? Where are your insecurities? What are you unsure about? And finding that, right, finding what your inner stance is with yourself, and allowing that to be the guide that moves you, right? When you, that's that inner balance. Like that's you, that's the Aries, the opposite um of Libra, of the relationship, is the self, the me, that I. But you have to be the full I to be in the relationship, right? It takes the 1 + 1 = 2. It's not half and half. So, so yeah, really the, focusing on acceptance of all the parts of ourselves, right? Really, especially the ones that we think are bad. Why do we think that's bad? Why are we rejecting this part of ourselves? Can we go down and find the root where the first time we did this, that we felt unsafe after doing it, right? Because somewhere along the line, between ages 0 to 8, maybe, a little bit older, depending, it's still possible, but 0 to 8, that builds the foundation, all of our programming, right? That's where we're getting all of our ideas of what we're worth and what we're not, because at that time we really, our safety, our like our life source is our parents, and we're looking we're looking outside of ourselves to really, for survival, right? Like we're bending, okay, this is accepted, so we're going to do this because we need to be accepted, we need to be part of, because we're dependent of someone else. Today, now, we're not. We are thriving adults, right? And if you're here, it's because you're very well aware. You're in your journey. You're healing yourself, right? So it's taking that into the next layer, taking it a step further. Let's find where I picked up this belief that's no longer serving me, and being grateful for it. Like, hey, it served you for a long time. It kept you safe for a long time, and that's great, and that's beautiful, and thank you so, so, so much. But it's not serving me anymore, and me holding on to it really is selfish, because I'm keeping it for myself when it's not serving me, and I could be surrendering it back, releasing it back, and it can be serving someone else, right? Someone, like, what's that saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure. That applies energetically as well, right? Not in the sense of like, oh, there's not enough, so if you have it, someone else doesn't have it. No, but energy is energy, and if I'm holding on to this energy that you could, that it's going to benefit you, why? And it's not benefiting me, why not? Let's release it. Let's say thank you. Excuse me. So yes, let's release that which no longer serves us, and create space for that which does. Right? Let's fully allow the versions of ourselves that we want to step into. Let's create space for that. Let's allow that to come through. It's there, right? It's already there. If you are thinking about it constantly, and it's coming to you, and it's coming to you, and you keep ignoring it, and you keep ignoring it, it's because it's waiting for you. You have to do something for it, something that you haven't done before. And it doesn't have to be the most drastic, like jump off the bridge kind of thing, right? It's probably like the simple little shift in your day-to-day routine, right? Like, instead of waking up in the morning and going straight to your phone, you are going to start doing your affirmations, or you're going to do a little bit of breath work before and center yourself. Maybe it's really getting out there and getting into moving your body consciously, right? 15 minutes every day, instead of the 3-hour perfect practice that I'm never going to do. Maybe it's holding that boundary, and next time my family member calls me and starts just like dumping all their stuff on me when I'm not able to hold space, I'm going to say, hey, right now I'm not able to hold space for you, let's talk later. Right? Hold that boundary. Something that's like minimal, and yet it's so grand, right? It's really going to shift and open up for you so much. What's that need? What's the need that's not being met? Let's find it, right? Or let's find the limiting belief that's no longer serving, and let's rewrite the story. And this discovery will come from you being curious, right? You approaching with curiosity whatever is coming up for you right now during this eclipse season. And mainly it's what's coming up in your relationships, but your relationship to yourself, right? That sets the tone for all of your other relationships. So how are you feeling with yourself? How are you showing up for yourself? How are you feeling about your feelings? Are you allowing yourself to feel that way? Is it okay? Are you judging yourself about the way that you feel? These are all the things to think about and consider, right? So, yeah. that's it in a nutshell. There's so much more I could say, and yet I think that's good also, because if we keep, let's keep things simple there. Does anyone have questions? Because I'm always the one doing all the talking, but does anyone have questions? Yes, no, maybe. Finding harmony. What are things that you can do to find the harmony within yourself? How do you do that? What does that look like for you? Maybe you discover that practice now, right? Maybe you find, and like that, it changes constantly, right? Nature is a great way to find harmony and connect with yourself and finding peace, whatever that looks like for you. Going to the beach, going out for a walk, um, just sitting under a tree, walking barefoot on the ground, like that's underrated also. Giving yourself hugs, listening to some healing frequencies, right? Like there's so many tools out there. You could do some EFT tapping, the hypnosis, whatever. Like the resources are out there. Find what works for you now. Whatever gives you peace in that sense.
Have you found good experience with hypnosis? I have a friend who I would say she's popular on Instagram for her hypnosis, but I don't know if it actually works, or I don't really know much about it. But
Okay.
when I see her, I don't see her as like as a person that I would want to share energy with.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So I'm like, she's really popular as a hypnosis, hypnotic teacher. And she teaches how, I guess, to also put yourself under hypnosis, or I'm not
Mhm.
quite sure. But yeah, it felt a little off when I like got it from her. So
Okay, so hypnosis really is tapping into your subconscious mind, which is
mhm.
what runs the program, right? And you can access the subconscious mind. It's like your theta waves, those deep inner um,
Mhm.
frequencies by brain waves through breath, right? So breathing, and you get yourself, and that's what it is. Like you guide it through, or you could do it, guide yourself through the breath. You can use binaural beats. That's also a really good way that helps you access the subconscious. And you're usually like guided, like you're going into an elevator and you're going down and down, and you get into an airplane and you fly, and then you get out and you're in this location, and like it's all just to go deep layers into your subconscious. You're very much conscious through the whole. It's not like, oh, you don't remember. No, you're conscious. That happens like for past life regressions and stuff. You're conscious of what's going on. You're just accessing those parts of the subconscious parts of your brain that you're not usually tapped into, which is really cool because there's
Yeah.
so much in there.
Yeah. I think like Kundalini activation that we did, I think I have to experience it for myself, right?
Yeah.
Like I
Yes.
hear all the words and I've researched it, but I'm like, I think I need to do it myself. And then that's the same thing with CAP too, right?
Yeah,
So
totally. I feel you. My new fun modality that I have learned myself that I am loving is access consciousness bars. And it's 32 pressure points on the head that you touch. Okay. So it's called running your bars. And what it does, okay, this is so wonderful. It's basically like a delete button for all of the programming in your brain. Okay. Any preconceived notions, like thoughts, idea, like this is good and this is bad. We delete
right.
all of that and we get to ground zero, to neutral. And there's like MRI studies, right?
Um,
All imaging, all these different like science backed whatever things that they've done, research to back what's going on. It's so wild, you can't explain it,
how do
like
you know what you're
practical
deleting
stuff.
though? What if you delete something that's like something you want to keep?
So it's not going to, erase any memories or anything like that. It's just going to open you up, right? So where before you're already, you've got your judgments, your filters, right? We've all got the filters, our RAS system, the filter that we say, okay, this is what's good, this is what's bad, like all of a sudden this is the analogy that's usually used. You're going to buy a car and you see, you look at that car and then all of a sudden you see that car everywhere when before you never noticed that car, right?
Mhm.
It's because you've told your brain this car is important and now it's going to highlight it for you.
Right. It's
So you
recency
can
effects.
use
Yeah.
you can use that, and anything else. And that's kind of that, those are the filters that your brain has already set. So it pops out these things. That's why it's like positive thinking is so important, because that's what you're programming yourself to look for.
Rewiring. Yeah.
Yeah, you're rewiring for the positivity. So so with access bars, you're getting your bars run and you're opening yourself up to receive. That's what it is. It's a practice of receiving, very much like Kundalini, right? The Kundalini activation process, where it's the energy that's running through your bodies. This is the same thing. It's just not as like it's not as vivid, right? It's very relaxing, and like you're literally just laying. You can sleep through it and it'd still be working, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is really cool. And it's so awesome that we have all of these tools available to us today. So many different things. And it's like, okay, hypnosis is not calling to you right now. Cool. It's just that's not it right now, right?
Yeah.
Let's do something different. And
Right.
how is it's all about experimenting. Like, what's wrong with being new at doing something? I'm new at doing all of this online recording,
Yeah.
stuff, figuring the mic out. Like, why do you hear my voice and not hear my sound? Like, it just doesn't, it just makes.
Try it. Let me see. I
Do you hear
can't.
it?
No.
You don't hear it. It doesn't pick it up. It's
You're
so
like you're a magical unicorn that can only we can hear you, nothing else matters. I'm sure there's a setting in the software that only amplifies human voice. So,
yeah,
and all the
it's way
background noise
beyond. It's way beyond.
deleted.
And also, like, I know I could YouTube, and I did. Like, I attempted to whatever self learn, but I also acknowledge, like, I'm not going to know and learn everything, so I'm going to seek help from someone who knows how to do this stuff.
Yeah,
And
every
yeah,
expert at some point was a beginner, right? So,
yes, exactly. And it's
mhm.
good to begin and to learn and to, be new at something. And yeah, okay, I was again back to the astrology. I've been learning. I'm still a student. I've been
Yeah,
in a deep study of astrology for like 7+ years. And
right.
there's still so much that I don't, like that I'm still learning, and I'm still learning every single time. And this
Yeah,
is life. I am a student of life, and I'm open to always learning.
yeah.
Because when you have the answer, when it's already defined, then like, that's it, then you're done, right? That's the end.
And that's how I can see that reprogramming would be really helpful to let go of that imposter syndrome that we have. Like, oh, like I really want to learn these modalities. I want to help people. I want to be a coach. But then it's like, well, who am I? Like, why should I be,
Oh,
doing that? Like do no harm. Like what if I do it wrong? What if I'm not good at it? What if I'm just like faking it until I learn it like every other job? But now I have human lives in my hands, right? So like there's a big imposter syndrome to even get into, those spaces.
absolutely. And this comes up more often than not. I've had a lot of clients with this of like, oh, I want to be a coach, but like, who am I to be a coach? And I'm like, who am I? Like, what makes me more qualified than you?
Right.
Right. One of the things that I say always, like in stuff, it's like, you can do exactly what I do, because what I do is I share from my life experience.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
I learn and I study, and I get, like, I have mentors and coaches, and I'm always growing and evolving, and I'm showing up for myself, and I'm showing up, for my community. And like back to this, like, I know that I don't know everything, and that's okay. Like, part of this beautiful work is getting to collaborate and with other beautiful people who are following their stuff, right? Like, you if you feel the call to do the work, it's for a reason. It's because you're going to help someone. There's someone out there who needs you and what only you can offer, because it's going to be special in some way, because your journey is unique, because your gift is unique. Even though we're all very much connected, we're all very much together, we're each, unique and special in that way. We still each play a role that and need each other very much. So it's like, trust that if that's what's coming up right now, that's what you like. If you cannot, right? What is that Tony Robbins saying? If you cannot do it, you must do it.
Mm.
Cannot, you must. That's it. That's that energy, especially now. And like, this is gonna super speed you there. It's gonna get, all you have to do is take a tiny step, one tiny step towards it, and it'll just totally expand for you. Right? It's beautiful.
Just have to have the gumption.
Yeah.
I think I need a hug from you, and then I'll get the gumption.
Yes, it's been long.
That's
Here's a
long.
virtual hug. um, so yeah. Oh, I'm gonna pull a card for us. Do a
Mm.
little tarot card collective pull here. Let's see, for all of us. For all of us. Ooh, for all of us, the universe. How
Oh.
right? How beautiful. The universe card. Can you really see that? Do you see it? Do you see it? The
Yeah.
universe card is represents completion, right? Like, you see that whole circle, it's everything as a whole, it's cosmic union, right? It's the wholeness, accepting all parts and being complete. And that's like being the ultimate an ultimate power, being whole with yourself, right? Being one with the universe, knowing your connection, all of us knowing our connection. This is what the world needs. This is what we all need, is unity, right? The evil, the hate wins when we are separated. It is so foolish to think that we are separate from one another, when we are each other, when we are all the universe, when we are all one, right? In our own uniqueness, in our own in our full being of ourselves, we are all together one. We make the whole. And it's really that idea. It's like, can we see things for what they really are in their entirety, the good and the bad, and accepting it and taking it all, because that's what it all is. We all have the good and the bad, right? We have things that people come to us for, and we have things that we go to people for. It's part of it, right? Every it's like all part of the unity of the circle coming together. So really trusting yourself. And can you make a list of all the things right now in your life that do not feel complete? I invite you to do that. It's a great, great practice. Sit down and journal. Okay. Make a list or whatever, however this comes through for you. But what you're looking for is all the things in your life that do not feel complete right now. What doesn't feel complete, and why doesn't it feel complete? And what do you have to do to complete it? And like, do you even want to complete it? Or is it something that you can finally let go and get it out? Right? For a really long time, I held on to boxes of my old crafts, of my old business, of my old projects. And I had to sit down and be like, okay, yeah, this was me for a part of it, but it's not anymore. Like, holding on to that is it serving me, or is it just taking up space free, like taking up space from things that I do want to be doing now? Let me tell you something. I got rid of those boxes and things really, really started to shift. Kid you not. I started really to get more into doing the things that I'm doing now that I wanted to do, because I created the space for it, right? I said, I don't want to finish those projects. They're not for me to finish anymore. And that's okay. There's so much power in being able to acknowledge, right? Like, no, it's not meant for me to finish. It's not always a failure to not finish. That's okay. That's okay. And what if you did fail also? That's okay too, right? We can learn from failure. We found a way that we found something that wasn't it. We found what didn't work. It's okay. It is. So um yeah, make a list. What's unfinished? Why is it unfinished? Do you want to, right? Allow yourself to find some resolution, some peace and some harmony in that. Um and find the wholeness and the unity that is you already. Yeah. Okay, my loves. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? If you are local, next week, no, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll have our full moon ceremony at Dania Beach Pier. Such a beautiful gathering that we do. What else do we have coming up? Astrology basics. Okay, you can watch the replay now. It's of the first course. It's a 2-part series. Our next class is Thursday. You're not late. You can still totally join us at any time. It's really fun getting to learn this whole, learning astrology, learning the system, the language, and I'm teaching it in a way for you to empower yourself, obviously, of course, right? In a way of like self-discovery and being able to better understand yourself and your connection to you, to the universe, to each other, like, how you move in the world, how you show up, all the yummy things. um those are those are the things happening right now. As always, if you want to chat, I am here for it. Reach out to me. I do have one more spot open for the year for a one-on-one container. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. We will see if that is you, if this is your spot. Next month we'll be here again. Don't ask me for the date because I don't know it right now off the top of my head. Maybe I should, but I don't. Who says I should anyway? But I'll let you know. But we'll be here again. And as always, thank you for being here.
Thank you,
I,
Flo.
you're very welcome. I pray that this has served you and that you have enjoyed it in some way. And yes, thank you so very much. Sending you so much love and a big hugs from me to you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Good night. Gordy.